Welcome everyone, where we're going to be talking about your project manager this morning, which is your liver. Your liver I call the project manager because on a job site, all the plumbers come to the project manager, the painters come to the project manager. So that's what your liver's doing. It's orchestrating the job site, of course, which is the human body. This amazing organ is constantly working behind the scenes to keep us balanced and energized. But did you know that many of us might be unknowingly putting our liver at risk? Stick around as I break down how these factors affect your liver and what you can do to keep it in good shape. First, let's talk about liver. A few facts on the liver. The liver is the largest internal organ in the body, and the liver is the only organ in the body that has the ability to regrow. And when you understand the liver, when you understand what it does, and it's the role that it plays, you'll understand why God made it so. You see, cancer cannot get a hold on the body if the liver's working in optimum performance. Your liver is doing just that, organizing everything that occurs in your body during detox. On the second day of detox, your liver increases its activity. It isn't simply bustling, it's fully operational, processing and removing pollutants. But how does it pull it off? To break that down to a water-soluble state, because it can't be released in a fat-soluble state. So what your liver is doing is taking it through three phases. Phase one of the liver detox began yesterday on your first day of juicing. And in phase one, your liver took this fat-soluble toxin and it broke it down to a metabolite. So what's a metabolite? Metabolite just really means the first stage of metabolism or breakdown. Your liver has a two-stage detoxification mechanism. In phase one, enzymes known as cytochrome P450 get to work. Consider breaking down a large, cumbersome piece of furniture into smaller, more manageable pieces. But here's the catch. These smaller parts can still be pretty reactive and potentially harmful. That's where phase two comes in. In phase two, your liver binds molecules to these reactive intermediates, converting them into water-soluble chemicals that your body may easily excrete via urine or bile. It's like attaching handles to those broken down furniture pieces, making them safe and easy to transport out of the body. This phase encompasses a variety of processes, including glucuronidation, sulfation, and glutathione conjugation, all of which play important roles in rendering these toxins harmless. In 36 hours of starting the detox, phase two kicks in. And phase two basically comes to the rescue. In phase two, the liver takes this highly toxic metabolite and joins it together with amino acids. The union of this highly toxic metabolite with the amino acids, in fact the scientific term is conjugated, basically joins it together like that. So the conjugation of the amino acids and the toxic metabolite releases the water-soluble state. But wait, there's more. During detox, your liver is also busy making bile, which is super important for digestion and getting rid of toxins. Bile works like a detergent, breaking down fat so your digestive system can handle them better. Plus, it helps carry waste products away from the liver to be excreted. And the liver doesn't stop there. It also regulates blood sugar, produces proteins required for blood clotting, and stores critical nutrients, including vitamins and minerals. It's as if your liver is not only supervising the cleanup, but also ensuring that the entire team has the tools and resources they require to keep things going properly. So environmental poisons coming into the body, everything goes straight to the liver. And if it's toxic, the liver says, whoa, nasty guy, wrap him up in fat and store him. And if the liver looks at it and says, no, we can break that down to a state that can be easily released, that is what it will do. In a typical adult, the liver weighs about 3 pounds and is located in the upper right side of the belly, directly beneath the diaphragm. To give you an idea, it's about the size of a football. But this hefty organ isn't just hanging out. It's a powerhouse, managing over 500 vital functions every single day. Yep, you heard that right? Over 500? Now the glucose goes on the M1 main highway portal vein straight to the project manager. And then the project manager determines where this glucose goes. And it'll take it inside the cell. Remember I promised you we'll be going to the CBD every day? Now here's where it gets really interesting. The liver has a unique ability to regenerate. Unlike any other organ in your body, the liver can regrow to its full size, even if up to 75% of it has been surgically removed. That's pretty mind-blowing, right? This extraordinary regenerating potential is derived from specialized liver cells, known as hepatocytes, which are activated when the liver is damaged. These cells grow and divide, allowing the liver to return to its normal size and function. And get this, when your liver is working at its best, it can even help reduce your risk of developing cancer. Yes, you heard that right. You see, cancer cells consume 15 times the glucose of any other cell. Cancer cells are living up here in this very fast pathway, not giving much energy, don't have to have oxygen. Cancer cannot survive in the presence of oxygen. But I suggest if someone has cancer, no fruit for 6 weeks. Very little carbohydrates for 6 weeks. It's designed to give a sledgehammer knock to cancer cells. Now let's talk about the incredible ways your liver works to keep your body cancer-free and why it's so crucial to keep this organ in top shape. One of the liver's most critical functions is to degrade and neutralize potential carcinogens, those noxious compounds that can cause cancer. These can be caused by tobacco smoke, pollution, or even certain food additives. According to research, when your liver is operating optimally, it plays an important role in detecting and destroying malignant cells before they can proliferate and create tumors. The liver produces several proteins and enzymes that aid in this process, including alpha-fetoprotein. Elevated AFP levels can indicate that your liver is actively fighting off cancerous changes. In addition, the liver balances hormones and the immune system. Estrogen and testosterone, which can cause breast and prostate cancer, are broken down by it. Your liver reduces cancer risk by controlling these hormones. What happens if your liver isn't healthy? Toxins and a compromised immune system from liver dysfunction can produce cancer cells. Cirrhosis and hepatitis, which induce inflammation and cellular damage, may increase liver cancer risk. That's why liver health is more than cleansing. It prevents cancer. Cancer also loves an acid environment. And guess what is the most acid substance you can put into your body? Refined sugar. Nothing wrong with the sugar cane. All those minerals alkalize it up, but when they extract the sugar out of the sugarcane plant, it becomes a pure acid. Studies show that eating a balanced, antioxidant-rich diet, staying hydrated, exercising regularly, and avoiding toxic exposure improve liver function. Leafy greens, berries, almonds, and fatty seafood support liver health. Discussing what the liver accomplishes with everything that enters the body. Everything goes to the liver, including food and environmental toxins. The liver accumulates harmful substances in fat. If the liver can safely break it down, it does so and discards it. Your liver works hard to process food efficiently, keeping you healthy in ways you may not realize. Focus on carbohydrates. We consume more carbs than ever, from bread and pasta to sugary snacks and drinks. Eaten carbs break down into glucose. The liver stores glucose as glycogen to stabilize blood sugar. Too many carbs, especially refined sugars, cause the liver to produce fat, which can be stored in the liver or elsewhere. This can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which decreases liver function and raises diabetes and heart disease risk. Whatever, your liver is tough. It constantly converts nutrients into usable forms and stores or removes excess. Consuming glucose triggers a biological mechanism that boosts energy by 2 units. The true energy comes when glucose becomes pyruvate and enters the mitochondria, where it undergoes another process to produce 36 units. Your cells are full of mitochondria, which power everything from intensive workouts to relaxing pastimes. Why does it matter? Excess hyperglycemia results from eating lots of carbs, especially processed meals and sugars. Fatty liver disease can develop from the liver, turning this overabundance to fat. Glycogen, fat, or rapid energy can be made from glucose. To reach health goals, you must adjust your carb intake based on your height, weight, age, and activity level. Cutting carbs can help with weight loss, cancer therapy, and diabetes. Let me show you what it does with the food that comes in. And never in the history of mankind have human beings eaten so many carbohydrates. So we're going to do a carbohydrate assessment. Reducing carbs is not enough. You must also choose the right ones. Complex carbs like nutritious grains, veggies, and legumes provide steady energy and stabilize blood sugar. Avoid simple carbohydrates like sugary snacks and processed grains, which raise blood sugar and weight. Carbs are essential, but you must balance them with your needs and health goals. Portion control, meal choices, and bodily response are included. Let's discuss cholesterol. Let's clarify a common mistake. So let's have a look at cholesterol. It's a good time to look at it because the liver makes cholesterol. And by the way, it makes cholesterol according to the demand our body puts on it. And 80% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from glucose. And 20% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from fat. Our bodies need waxy, fat-like cholesterol for cell membrane creation, hormone manufacturing, and vitamin D synthesis. The liver makes most of your cholesterol from glucose and fat, 80% and 20%. Our body would malfunction without it. The interesting part is that cholesterol is not equal. Too much LDL, the bad cholesterol, and too little HDL, the good cholesterol, cause the problem. So let's have a look at cholesterol. There are 2 main types. One is high-density lipoprotein called HDL, high-density lipoprotein, and LDL. HDL is usually called the good guy, and the reason for that is it's the carrier. So it carries excess cholesterol from the blood back into the liver. That's why it's called the good guy. LDL is called the bad guy. But what you've got to remember is the body doesn't make anything bad. It has a role. So what is its role? Its role is that of a repairer and a rebuilder. When LDL levels are high, cholesterol may build up on artery walls. Plaque buildup narrows arteries and slows blood flow, causing atherosclerosis. This increases your chance of heart attacks and strokes. On the other hand, HDL removes cholesterol deposits, preventing plaque development and keeping arteries clean. Exhaust fumes, insecticides, and home cleaner chemicals contribute to pollution in modern culture. When toxins enter your body, they go straight to your liver, your major detox center. Like a security guard, your liver checks everything in its path. It wraps harmful substances in fat cells to protect your tissues. Preventing toxins from damaging cells is crucial. Next time you think about cholesterol or your liver, remember that a lot is happening to keep you healthy. I hope this video illuminated how daily choices affect liver health. If you found this information helpful, like and subscribe for more body balance tips. Thank you and see you next video.